As a reward for keeping the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise on course, Disney is fully backing director Rob Marshall as he brings Into the Woods from stage to screen. Stephen Sondheim's original musical had many moving parts, as does Marshall's film adaptation. Will this be a cinematic cornucopia, or the everything but the kitchen sink of movie musicals? Yes, as Les Mis meets Maleficent, today let's take a look at the expansive cast of Disney's fairy tale musical and what they each bring to the table. Now, front and center, or at least likely front and center in Disney's advertising campaign, is Johnny Depp as the Wolf. Depp can be extremely loyal, and he's been loyal to Disney. He headlines not just their Pirates franchise, but also the Wonderland franchise they're developing. And while the Lone Ranger might have been scalped at the box office, well, he already had all these other deals in place. And he must have gotten along with Marshall as well on Pirates 4, as he's doing the director a solid by taking on this small but high-profile role for Into the Woods. And this isn't the first time that Depp has sung Sondheim. He starred in the film adaptation of Sondheim's Sweeney Todd for Tim Burton back in 2007, and thankfully that flick's subdued box office performance hasn't soured him on the medium. Now, where there's a wolf, there's a little girl in a Red Riding Hood. And originally, that little girl was going to be played by actual little girl Sophia Grace Brownlee, a hot Hollywood commodity after her appearances with her cousin on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. But fans quickly reminded Disney and Marshall that there is quite a bit of sexual innuendo in this particular Wolf-Little Red Riding Hood relationship, and Sophia Grace has been replaced by Broadway star Lilla Crawford, who is just barely age-appropriate. Problem solved? Still, Crawford is a true Broadway talent. She starred in the recent revival of Annie, in a production that doesn't have a lot of actual theater talent despite its roots, but there is some. In addition to Crawford, Into the Woods co-stars James Corden as the baker, one of the lead roles. Corden's breakout role might have been on the BBC sitcom Gavin and Stacey, but he made quite a splash in the theater scene with One Man, Two Guvnors. A hit on London's West End, it then moved to Broadway, where Corden won the Tony for Best Leading Actor in a Play. Wait, not a musical? Yes, he didn't sing there, but that's still some serious theater street cred. And Corden can sing. He performed England's 2010 World Cup anthem Shout alongside Dizzy Rascal. Let's just hope Corden doesn't pull a Russell Crowe, who wasn't that bad. Speaking of Russell Crowe, another cast member from Tom Hooper's Les Mis, young Daniel Huttlestone, will also be featured here as Jack of Beanstalk fame, another big role. Huttlestone is also one of the few performers here with stage experience, as before he starred in the silver screen adaptation of Les Mis, he performed the same role for a year on London's West End. Other theater talents movie audiences will discover with Into the Woods are Billy Magnussen as Rapunzel's prince. Magnussen was nominated for a Tony for his work in Christopher Durang's Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike, and Mackenzie Mozzie as Rapunzel, who starred briefly in the Broadway musical A Tale of Two Cities, served as an understudy on Next to Normal, and then in Giant at the prestigious Public Theater. Into the Woods will also feature Frances de la Tour as the Giant and Joanna Riding as Cinderella's mother, who have both earned Olivier Awards, the UK version of the Tony. But de la Tour also has a Tony for her work in The History Boys when it came to Broadway. And while we're discussing distinguished older actresses, here's a fun fact. Annette Crosby, who plays Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother, sang Suddenly It Happens for Ralph Bakshi's animated The Lord of the Rings back in 1978. She also voiced Galadriel in the cult hit. But surely Disney and Marshall want some more Hollywood star power, right? Well, they've got it, as brace yourselves, we've only covered about half the cast so far. Meryl Streep, who already impressed audiences with her turn in another musical, Mamma Mia, takes on the coveted role of the witch. This is arguably the signature role of Into the Woods, famously originated by Bernadette Peters, and later played by Vanessa Williams and Donna Murphy, aka the voice of Mother Gothel in Tangled. Another important role is that of the baker's wife, the only role in the original production to win a Tony for Joanna Gleason. Here, Emily Blunt will play the baker's wife, and while Blunt made her acting debut on the stage in The Royal Family opposite Judi Dench, she has never done a musical. The same goes for Chris Pine, who will make his singing debut as Cinderella's prince. But someone who has plenty of singing experience is Anna Kendrick, and Disney and Marshall are lucky to snag her between Pitch Perfect and Pitch Perfect 2. Could Kendrick as Cinderella be the spark that finally interests fans in live-action Disney princesses? In fact, fans are already hoping she'll play another Disney princess, Belle, in the studio's planned live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast, thanks to her cover of Belle's signature song on SNL earlier this year. Tracy Ullman, who began her career as a singer, seriously, check out You Broke My Heart in 17 Places, and Christine Baranski, who sung alongside Streep in Mamma Mia, round out the cast as Jack's mother and Cinderella's stepmother, respectively. And finally, Tammy Blanchard, Judy Garland lookalike and Tony-nominated actress for the 2003 revival of Gypsy, plays ugly stepsister Florinda alongside Lucy Punch as Lucinda, who's been in a bunch of failed movies and TV shows, but none of those failures were her fault. So does this sound like the Avengers of musical theater, or is Into the Woods all over the place? Be sure to write your thoughts down below. I'm Grace Randolph, and thanks for watching Beyond the Trailer Disney. You can check out some more episodes right now.